Ethan Cole checked his phone for the 5th time in 2 minutes and felt the same knot tighten in his chest. The interview was in 40 minutes. One shot, one chance to climb out of the hole he'd been in since layoffs swept through his old factory job. He smoothed his only decent shirt, navy blue, thrifted but clean, and glanced at the clock above the bus stop. "Come on," he murmured. Just one smooth morning. His 7-year-old daughter, Lily, tugged his hand. "Daddy, my shoe's funny." He knelt, retied the frayed lace, and smiled. "Better." She nodded, ponytail bouncing. Lily always nodded like that, confident, even when life hadn't given them much to be confident about. He kissed the top of her head and glanced up the street. The bus would be there any second. Drop Lily at school, catch the subway, walk 3 blocks, interview. That's when he heard it. A thin, wavering cry cut through the morning noise. "Help. Please, someone." Ethan turned. Across the street, an elderly woman struggled at the curb. She was tiny, bundled in a gray coat too big for her, clutching a grocery bag that had split open. Apples rolled into the road. Her cane lay on the sidewalk just out of reach. People passed. Some glanced. No one stopped. Ethan's first instinct was to look away. He hated that instinct. He hated that his brain immediately did the math. 40 minutes minus walking time minus school drop-off minus helping her. The interview flashed in his mind. The receptionist's polite smile, the hiring manager's clipboard, the words "we'll be in touch." "Daddy," Lily asked softly. "That grandma fell." Ethan exhaled. He took Lily's hand. "Okay, we'll be late. Just a bit." They crossed quickly. A car honked as Ethan waved an apology and scooped apples off the asphalt. He helped the woman sit back on the bench and retrieved her cane. "Thank you," she said, voice trembling but eyes sharp. "I'm fine. Just, these legs don't listen anymore." Ethan smiled gently. "They're allowed to misbehave sometimes." She chuckled, surprising him. "So are people." He gathered the rest of the groceries and noticed her hands shaking. Lily handed over an apple, solemn as a nurse. "Here, Grandma." The woman's gaze softened. "Well, aren't you a little blessing?" "Lily," she said proudly. "Lily," the woman repeated. "A good name." Ethan checked his watch. 29 minutes. "Where are you headed?" he asked. "Just over there," she said, pointing to an older brick building across the intersection. "But I shouldn't trouble you. You're dressed like you've somewhere important to be." He hesitated, then shrugged. "I do, but we can walk you." They took her arm and moved slowly. She leaned on Ethan more than he expected, but she kept her chin up. At the building's steps, she paused, breathless. "I'll be all right from here," she said. Ethan smiled. "You sure?" "Yes, thank you, truly." He turned to go, and nearly collided with Lily's teacher, who was rushing by with a stack of papers. "Mr. Cole," she said, "Lily's already late." "I know," he said, apologetic. I saw," the teacher said gently, glancing back at the elderly woman. "Come on, Lily." As Lily followed, she looked over her shoulder. "Bye, Grandma." The woman raised her cane in salute. Ethan jogged to the bus stop, heart pounding. The bus arrived just as he reached it. He squeezed in, sweat prickling under his collar, and checked his phone again. He could still make it, barely, if the subway cooperated. It didn't. A delay, signal problems, 10 minutes lost. By the time Ethan reached the building, the interview time had passed. He stood outside, chest heaving, staring up at the glass doors that reflected his disappointment back at him. He went inside anyway. Pride didn't pay rent. At the reception desk, a young man smiled. Professionally. "Name, Ethan Cole. I had a 10 o'clock interview." The man checked his screen. His smile faded. "I'm sorry. They've moved on to the next candidate." Ethan nodded. He'd expected that. "Thank you for your time." He turned to leave. "Mr. Cole." He stopped. The receptionist blinked at his screen. "Actually, could you wait a moment?" Ethan's heart stumbled. "Sure." He waited. Minutes passed. People walked by, all polished shoes and clipped voices. Ethan felt out of place, like a stain on a white shirt. Then the elevator doors opened. The elderly woman stepped out. Only now, she wasn't alone. 2 assistants flanked her. Her gray coat was gone, replaced by a tailored blazer. Her posture was straight, her eyes keen and assessing. She spotted him instantly. "There you are," she said. Ethan stared. "You?" She smiled. "Yes, I suppose I owe you an explanation." The assistants looked confused. One whispered, "Mrs. Harrington, cancel my next meeting," the woman said calmly. "I'm conducting an interview." Ethan's mouth opened, closed. Opened again. I missed my interview. You didn't, she said. You passed it. She gestured toward a conference room. Walk with me. Inside, she took a seat at the head of the table. Ethan sat opposite, hands clasped to stop them from shaking. Eleanor Harrington, she said. Founder and CEO. Ethan swallowed. I helped you cross the street. You did more than that, she replied. You noticed. You stopped. You involved your child. You sacrificed something you needed for someone you didn't know. He frowned. I just did what anyone should. She leaned forward. Most didn't. She asked him questions, not about his resume, but about Lily, about his previous work, about how he handled pressure, about what mattered to him. He answered honestly. There was no point pretending now. When he finished, she nodded once. We can teach skills. We can't teach character. She stood and extended her hand. I'd like to offer you the position. Ethan stared at her hand, then took it, afraid it might vanish if he blinked. You're serious? Completely. And before you asked, yes, the pay is better than what you were expecting. Family benefits, too. His throat tightened. Thank you, she smiled. Thank you for helping an old woman pick up her apples. Weeks later, Ethan walked Lily to school in a new routine that felt like a miracle. Stability, health insurance, even weekends free. One morning, Lily looked up at him. Daddy, yeah, kiddo, are you glad you helped that grandma? He squeezed her hand. Every day, across the street, Eleanor Harrington watched from her car, a small smile on her face, as a good man and his daughter crossed safely, proof that sometimes, the right choice finds its reward when you least expect it.